you rescue me? And brought me back.
Coach's Corner with Coach Heck and the infamous Coach Patrick King. You're stuck with me, man.
I'm stuck.
You are stuck with me. I ain't going anywhere.
There's a lot of people that are jealous of me for sitting here, and there's some people that there's a little sympathy going on at the same time.
There's more people that are sympathetic to you. I'm just saying that much right now. As a matter of fact, if I needed a vasectomy, I might get one this weekend.
Oh, I forgot those commercials.
But I don't even need a vasectomy. And just remember what Ron Heklinski said today. And you ain't that good. The scouting report said you were pretty good. You ain't that good. Oh, man. Are you kidding me? We are back.
What an intro, huh? Happy holidays, Happy New Year, all that good stuff.
That's like my favorite line. Are you kidding me? And
you do say that once or twice.
So I was talking about this. I did the Penn St. Joe game the other day, and I was talking to my partner up there, and somebody blocked a shot, and one of the kids said something to the other kid to block a shot, and my partner made a comment. Those kids shouldn't be talking to each other like that. I said, are you kidding me? I said, when I blocked a shot back in the day, I said, get that stuff out of here.
Sure you did.
But not stuff.
I understand.
Because I think back in the day, and, we started on the playgrounds, and you did too in Anderson.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
But it wasn't anything malicious. And it wasn't anything to where the crowd was going to hear it.
No.
But if I blocked your shot, I'm saying, get that out of here, big boy.
That's right.
So
that's right.
That's just the way
we grew up.
Yeah, and that's lingo.
Yeah.
That's basketball lingo.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you don't, if you don't have the talk, then you can't talk it.
But see, the thing was, back in the day, we didn't have microphones right next to the basket where they could hear all that stuff. We didn't have TV cameras to pick up all that stuff, so we got away with it.
That is exactly right.
You're standing at the foul line, you put your head down, your hands on your knees like you're tired, but you're sitting there talking. You're supposed to be blocking the shooter out. You're talking shit all the time, saying, "Man, you're just no telling what you were going to say to him, but you were talking the whole time with your head down."
I know, and you were saying, "You got no shot of making this, dude."
Yeah, if you make this, you got to make it. You guys are going to lose. If you make this, you guys are going to get beat.
Hey, welcome. Okay, welcome to Coach's Corner. We're back. We're back. We took a 2-week hiatus. We're back.
We're back at Bar Louie. We're up on the 3rd floor.
Speaking of Bar Louie's, what great food!
We've had a good time here. We're going to be here until Memorial Day, and like I said, my wife plans on this. She doesn't even. There's no meals planned at the house on Mondays, and that's okay.
That is cool.
And I get the same thing every week. I get my Cali Club.
I ordered it for you.
Yeah, you did. You knew exactly what to get.
I ordered it for you, and so, Bar Louie's is the best. You get a chance to stop into Bar Louie's and enjoy some food, enjoy some libations, enjoy some TV, some sporting stuff.
Tonight, everybody knows tonight's the night for football. For sure. College football.
It's college football
at
its greatest. It's college football at its greatest. Hey, so I want to talk about a couple of sponsors here, and I'm going to talk about a sponsor. First of all, Hahn Funeral Home. What did one casket say to the other casket?
You need to probably ask one of our audiences.
Hey guys in the audience.
We have audience tonight.
So I'm doing a commercial for Hahn Funeral Home, right? Hahn Funeral Home, the loss of a loved one can leave you with lots of unanswered questions and stress. At Hahn Funeral Homes of Mishawaka, we're here to help. Our focus has always been on the families that we serve. Let me ask you this question. What did one casket say to the other casket? You got nothing? Is that you coughing?
Say it every summer. Quick, get these guys a drink.
We say it every week.
Save these guys.
We say it every week. And now we have
these guys.
a live sponsor on the set here tonight. Tony Letcher, come on up here. Tony Letcher, been a sponsor for us.
Here, put these on
the whole year, and Let Your Health Markets.
Oh,
We
push
got a
that little
first
red
down.
button. There you go.
You on, Tony?
I'm on.
Talk to us about Let Your Health Markets, man. We talk about it all. 3 spots a show all the time. You're the guy. Let Your Health Markets, man.
So I just help dreams come true. So I do Medicare, health insurance, whether somebody wants to make their hobby a reality or maybe retire early and spend time with their grandkids or kids, I'm helping them with whatever they needed.
That's phenomenal, actually. And your contact info.
Yeah, so you can reach us either online at tletcher.com or you can call us directly at 574-307-8882.
South Bend Adams graduate, right?
That's right. 95.
What year? 1995.
95.
That was right before I got there.
See?
Long time head
I was there
basketball coach.
96,
I know.
97. That's
Okay.
right.
What
Well-
sports did you play at Adams?
I was all on the playground.
Really?
Yeah.
That was the best kind right there.
Yep.
So we were just talking about this when we got on the air, because back in the day, if I and this was a high school basketball game, they
Right.
didn't have cameras or they didn't have speakers right on the court like they do now. But if I blocked the guy's shot, I would say, "Get that out of here, man! Don't ever bring this down the lane." Talking trash on
All
the
day.
playgrounds.
We would do the Olajuwon.
Oh, yeah.
Not in my
Not
house.
in my house.
No. So back on the playgrounds. That was the real deal, right?
Oh, everybody talked
Sure.
trash.
It's just
look at
part
Larry
of it.
Bird. He's the biggest talk. He
Yeah.
talked, but he
That's
backed
for
it
sure.
up too. So
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you a person that talk trash that I'm not sure that a lot of people know this, but Johnny Wooden.
Oh,
Okay, Johnny Wooden used to sit there with that rolled up program and look so, he's so elderly, so just a great coach. He was the biggest trash talker. A player would run by and they'd miss a shot, and he'd have that program right here, and he'd say, "Told you couldn't make that shot. Our scouting report says you can't make that shot." But nobody knew that.
right.
Nobody knew that. So I know you're into athletics now. What is your favorite sport right now that you like to watch or you like to follow?
Probably college basketball. I've always been a big IU guy. So
All right, tell us. We were just talking.
Right.
just talking.
Tell us about IU.
oh yeah,
What do you got rolling now? Now I know they took one on the chin at Nebraska, right?
right.
But
They came back and beat Ohio State. So
That's a good
can,
win for
can
them.
they
right?
win a game on the road? I don't know.
I think in time they're young. They
Yeah.
got a lot of new guys. I think they're definitely a very athletic team, and they got the talent.
Well, when they have to have Galloway as their go-to guy right
Right.
now, that's still a concern for me.
Yeah. They just have long stretches where they can't score.
What about Xavier Johnson? Is he back yet?
Yeah, he came back against Ohio State, I think.
Yeah, he did get some minutes, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yep.
And they got some good young guns. They're just not playing well yet.
One of my friends was telling me, and he's a big IU guy, that a lot of teams shot great percentages from the 3-point line against IU because they didn't
Right.
close out hard.
Oh,
And,
Okay.
and they were saying that the Leal kid,
Right.
Anthony Leal from Bloomington South, got some playing time because he closed out
He
the
was
shooters
closing
really well, and he was a great fundamental player. Would you agree with that?
100%.
yeah. He's Mr. Basketball.
Yeah.
10 years ago. How long's he been there?
Yeah, he's been there about 4 years,
Right.
maybe 4 or 5 years. What's your thoughts on Woody, Mike Woodson?
I like him. He's a Bobby Knight guy.
Yeah.
He teaches defense, fundamentals, and you can see it. So they're usually pretty good defensively. They just can't score some games. That's their problem.
Yeah. It's his third recruiting
Well,
cycle though, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
what really hurt them was when they lost Hood Schifrino.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Because he was a guy they recruited to score,
correct.
and the problem was he went off against Purdue. Every NBA scout saw that
Correct.
28 or 30-point performance, and now he's sitting the bench for the Lakers, right?
Right.
When he could probably be making more NIL and
Well, yeah.
collective money.
He would be.
And
Yeah.
getting more publicity. That's for
Right.
sure.
Right. He might be a top 5 or 10 pick if he stayed another year or two.
That's what I said. So I don't know. I don't know if they got street agents. I don't know if it's the family. I don't know, but it's not like it used to be because they can stay. They can get 3 hots in a cot. They can get their
Right.
girlfriends. They can go to school, but they can make money.
Right.
Yeah,
Good point.
That's interesting. What about IU football? Are you an IU football guy?
Yeah, I watched him a little bit. So
Do you have any thoughts on the new guy they brought in from James Madison?
it's hard to say.
Did Just wait and see.
Right.
I mean, his resume says that he wins.
Right. I saw they had 21 new guys coming in, so
Really?
to the transfer portal. So who knows? I mean, you just don't know what's going to
You
happen.
just don't know how many went out.
Right. Right.
Well, no. So
Well, the kid at Washington, he's an old IU guy
who's
playing
that?
tonight. The quarterback.
Oh
Yeah,
Penix.
Penix.
Yeah.
And their head coach was the offensive coordinator
Right.
at IU. Now here's one for you. I don't know. Maybe you know the guy. Did you play with Shaq Van at Adams?
You might have played. Shaq's younger.
Yeah, I think he was behind me.
Oh yeah, I know he was
Yeah.
because he was 2011. His brother Chris is an
Oh, he was way
athletic
behind
director.
me.
Yeah, Chris
I know
is
the
probably
name.
early 2000s.
I mean, Shaq Van is the receivers coach at Washington,
Okay.
and they
Shaq wasn't alive in 1995.
They did, and
Jerry,
they
my
did.
son.
I did. I heard that. And they,
My son's classmate was Shaq.
and they did a huge. They did a huge article on him. He was talking how he matriculated out to Washington,
Right.
on the coaching staff in the national championship game in the South Bend Adams
Right.
Eagle, right?
Yep.
Did he play for you?
No. He's my son's age. So he came up, 8th grade at LaSalle, 9th grade, he was at Adams, and then he came on, Redmond coached him at football.
So,
Oh, okay.
so I'm going to show you how prepared I am. Just so you know, you're a sponsor here, so
Right.
you know.
Right.
Shaq Van against St. Joe his senior year rushed the ball for 39 times
Okay.
for 425 yards.
Wow.
One game.
Now
Wow.
that's preparation, right?
Wow.
Now, am I looking at a note?
Nope.
No, that's preparation.
That's that he'll get into his next sponsor here in a minute.
Wow, what a great segue.
Hey, but really, we can't thank you enough for helping us and sponsoring us. We talk about your health markets all the time, and I know Pat feels the same way I do. Thanks so
Yeah,
much.
we do. And
Hey,
sponsoring
very
us.
welcome.
we've got your business card was up on the screen earlier
good.
too. So
Yeah.
so it's there with all the info. Even had a QR code that can scan with the info.
Definitely.
There you go, man.
Cool. Hey,
So everything's there.
I appreciate you guys.
All right.
Hey, thank you very much,
Thanks,
Tony.
Tony.
So that's the great Tony Letcher. We talk about him every week.
Yeah.
I think it's wonderful when we can have him on
Well,
and
it's
people
nice
can
that we-
listen.
Exactly. I totally agree.
I think that's amazing. But hey, how about
Well,
and I know
Put-
that we're going to talk NFL.
grab
why
grab
not
Scott in. Scott, get in here so
mean-
you can.
why not
you can
talk
add
some-
into this?
some college football?
Yeah,
right
we
now.
can do that. Scott went to school with Shaq, and correct me if I'm wrong. Woody and who else at the game tonight? They went last week.
Woody and Chris, Shaq's brother for sure.
Yeah, they're at the
know.
game. They were at the game last week, and they're at the game again tonight, right?
Yeah, and I know the other guys that were with them, but I can't remember their names. So
Okay. Yeah,
definitely Woody
whoever
and
was in
Chris
that
and-
picture that was in the newspaper, they got tickets for tonight's game as well.
Well, so I think this is a perfect segue for Magic Mind, Scott. We need to get Scott on some Magic Mind. He didn't know.
Well,
He didn't know.
well, we had a good one there with your numbers there. You were throwing some numbers out there on his St. Joe stats,
No, but-
and that was a game from
2014.
I'm going to say 8 to 10 years ago.
Yeah, no. 39 rushing attempts, 425
That's-
yards. Now, some high school kids don't get 425 yards in a career.
No,
In a career.
I
And,
understand.
So, hey, magicmind.com/Ron. So, Magic Mind is a nootropic. It's made from different type of mushrooms. It's made from other type of roots from plants, and it just stimulates the mind. And it's a really good product to take. You take it in a liquid form, just a shot a day. And so get on magicmind.com/Ron and use the code Ron for a 20%.
20%
discount.
off. That's right.
And so now that I got some things straightened away, I had a massive cold. So now that I'm getting that cold straightened away, I'm going to order some Magic Mind and we're going to roll. And if you think my stuff was good when I said 39 attempts for 425 yards, wait till you see me on Magic Mind.
Oh my!
I'm going to roll out some of your high school staff.
Better than those mushrooms we did back in the 60s and 70s,
Well, we won't
right?
talk about the shrooms, but they were pretty good. I'll say that
Yeah,
much.
we're sitting here talking big stories, that's for sure.
But
Hey, Scott, fill us in because you're running things now. John has been advanced or improved or promoted within the South Bend schools here. and he has more duties where he can't be here on every Monday night. So Scott is sitting in a hotel room right now in Birmingham, right?
Yeah, I
that
was
your
going to
layover?
say this presents the opportunity to plug one of our other great partners, which is the Black Sedan Band, whose home is right here in
Yeah, he's in
the city
Birmingham.
that my hotel is in
Yeah,
Birmingham,
Birmingham,
Alabama.
a little suburb called Hoover, and everybody's heard of Hoover High School.
Yeah, football people
Yeah,
have,
great
haven't they?
football program, and the Black Sedan Band. My brother Don is the drummer. They play all over Alabama. To tell you a quick little story, there's this one place they play at, and I've been there. I've watched them play there. But Charles Barkley comes in there. I mean they'll play from like 9 to 1 in the morning, and every time they play at this one venue, at about maybe 10 o'clock, Charles Barkley comes in, and there's a like a cordoned off area, and he comes in there and he listens, he enjoys. But the reason he comes to that venue is nobody messes with him.
People help.
He can
That's
come
nice.
in, he can
Yeah.
come in, he can just listen. He brings a friend in or two every now and then.
Uh-huh.
But so my brother said, so we're doing this gig, and so I go and my wife goes, and we're big. I mean we love Chuck. Who doesn't love when
Oh, yeah.
Chuck and Shaq get rolling, right?
Exactly.
And
right.
Kenny get
They
rolling.
get going. Yeah.
But Chuck didn't come that night. But so if Chuck would have came, I don't know if we would have left him alone, man. We would
You
have said,
could-
"Hey, Chuck,
Come on, let's talk. That's
Hey,
right.
hey, borrow Starkley. Let's
Yeah.
talk, man."
Oh dear.
But no, the Black Sedan Band in Birmingham. So what's your take on this game tonight, man? This is a national championship game. Washington beats Texas 37-31, right?
Right.
And it's a big, I mean, they take a lead. Texas comes back and really makes a game of it. And the game ends with Texas real close
Throwing
to
the ball into the end zone.
Exactly.
Yeah. I
Exactly.
know. Great finish. And we can get a couple different. Let's talk about the game first. Michigan, they're like the team everybody wants. They want to hate them, but they can't because they know Harbaugh's.
Well, I can.
Well, you can. Yeah, go ahead. But Harbaugh's doing what everybody else is doing. It just happens Ohio State people decided they wanted to publicize it and try to make something of it as far as stealing signs. I mean, think about when we played, and that's why. And if you guys will notice at the bottom of the screen right over here, text us, call us. You can call in right now and argue with us, or tell me how smart I am, and tell me
happening.
Tell me how much I'm right. Michigan's pretty good.
Well,
Michigan's very good.
I called that because I said Alabama won't have an answer for Blake Corum.
Yeah, I agree. And Scott, you on the other side of this, remember this summer we were out in Seattle and we talked to Shaq and we walked campus with him. We were in the locker rooms. I've posted pictures. Shaq took us around everywhere, and we asked Shaq, how do you guys think you'll do this year? And he goes, I think we'll win them all. Of course, that's a coach talking, right? He goes, no, we think we're good enough. We can win them all. We think we got a chance to go all the way. I mean, that was his attitude in June when we saw him. And now it's come to this. They're down in the final game here. So,
well, I mean, they have great receivers. Their quarterback has just had a resurgency at Washington. Had a couple of knee surgeries at IU. Played for
both shoulders.
Yeah, played for his coach at Washington, was the OC at IU, Kalen DeBoer.
Well, and DeBoer was actually at Eastern Michigan as the head coach, and he's the one that recruited Shaq, and that's how Shaq ended up out here at Washington.
Yeah,
he's kind of trailed him and called him. There you go, Scott. There's one of our pictures. Thank you. That's from June when we were out there. We got in the locker room when they have recruits. You can see there's the weight room. And I mean, that's right. That's inside the offices and everything.
Hey, can you bring up the picture of me, Pat, and you trying to get this show together, please? There we are. There's me, Pat, and Scott trying to get this show together.
Yeah,
that's classic, man.
We are. You and I would be technology we can't say that word anymore.
Well,
Remediation. How's that?
yeah, no, and that's
Challenged.
challenged is the
Okay.
way it is.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the
Challenge is
save
the way
on
it is.
that.
So listen, so we talked about Texas and Washington a little bit. I want to talk about that Alabama game and Michigan game, and I want to get my Alabama guy on here and have him dissect that game a little bit. Mark, come on over here.
Here, matter of fact, I'll move.
No,
You guys can talk.
you're good. No, you're
Or
good.
he can sit
Yeah,
here.
no, he's right there. Put that headset on, Mark. You got us?
Hello.
So this is Mark Havard. He's originally from Alabama, and
Roll Tide.
I know, just a big Alabama
Had to
fan.
throw that in there.
We kind of talked a little bit about the Texas Washington game. Give me your thoughts on that Alabama Michigan game.
I would say that Alabama was not prepared offensively for what Michigan brought. And I think the scheme that Alabama tried to do, drop back Jalen Milroe, played into Michigan's strength, which is their defensive line. So to me, is it offensive coordinator? Is it Jalen Milroe? I think it's a mix because Milroe's not been able to handle pressure extremely well. But I do think that they needed to roll him out more. They needed to have some quick passes. Yeah, and I think to me that was a big difference in the game.
All right, so how does an SEC powerhouse, coached by unquestionably one of the best coaches ever in college football, Nick Saban,
Right.
how can they not put together a program where they have a first-class center? Because obviously they had problems with the center exchange in the shotgun, and even the last play of the game,
It was a
in
bad.
my understanding, was supposed to be an RPO,
Yeah,
where
I
Milroe,
understand.
once he got the shot or the shotguns snap back, was going to look, out to the running back, but the snap was so low, he had no time to look. He just
He just took
run.
off. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. How do we get that way? I don't know. How can you say that get that way at the collegiate level and have so many bad snaps? It wasn't just that game. It was all season long. We had bad snaps or snaps where Milroe wasn't even ready. And, there goes the ball. So we thought maybe that we've gotten past that because it had minimized that towards the end of the season. But it reared its ugly head in the
man.
worst moment, and unfortunately it happened. So
All right, so give me your thoughts on this game now tonight. This game, Washington against Mich. What do you got?
okay, well, on paper, anybody looking at this would go, okay, Michigan's going to take this by double digits, right? Michigan total defense, they allow 243 yards a game. They allow 10.2 points per game. Washington on defense allows over 400 yards a game, and they allow 24.4 points a game. On offense, Michigan ranks 70th. They get 378 yards a game. Washington they're number 10. They get 473 yards a game. Anybody looking at this on paper would say defense is going to win championships. But I just think for some reason, when you've got a quarterback like Penix, so to me, it reminds me of, say, Tua or Deshaun Watson. And remember Deshaun Watson for Clemson, how he just gave that Alabama defense fits. And it's a player where they can scramble, but they can throw the ball on a dime. They keep their vision up. And those are the kind of plays you can't plan for that, right? You can't
script
coordinate.
those backyard plays.
Exactly. And so I think that's what Penix does. How can a team like Washington be so poor on paper, and here they are, 14-0? I mean, that's pretty amazing if you think about it. So what's the difference? It's got to be the quarterback creating plays, and they just have a will to win. As an SEC guy, I would not watch Washington on TV very much, right? But seeing him in that Texas game, I was really impressed with, his ability to scramble, to keep his vision, and then just to throw the ball on a dime. I mean, when you play in these big games, as the cornerbacks know, there's a small window. because they're going to be covered. There's a small window to throw that ball, and when you're running and you can throw the ball on a dime in that small window, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and he's got those two great receivers, Pope and Odunza, that are not only going to be great pro receivers, but are great college receivers. And so are you telling me you're taking Wash?
I think Washington is going to pull this game out. I think it's going to shock a lot of people for some reason. And that's not just a Bama fan, hating on Michigan because they beat our team. I just think that a really good quarterback, Michigan has not seen this kind of quarterback all year long. I think a really good quarterback can make up the difference in some of those in a game where you would think the defense is going to dominate. And that line is dominant, right, for Michigan. But you can work past that if you can throw short passes over the middle. And also, I think the other thing is you not only extend the field vertically, but you extend it horizontally. And you get those big boys running. And by the time you get to the fourth quarter, they're gassed.
All right, let me ask you this question. Do you take Magic Mind?
No.
How did you have all those statistics, man? Those are just rolling.
Top of his head.
Those are just rolling, man. You must take Magic Mind.
Game prep, buddy.
There
Game
you
prep.
go.
There you go.
I like that.
There you go.
I like that. All right, man. So you're taking Wash.
I think Washington's going to pull this one. Well, it's going to depend on how well Washington can get the ball out, right? If he can get the ball out to those receivers and get those players, the defense running and expand that out, I think it's going to be a long night for Michigan.
All right, man.
We'll see.
There you go.
Listen, we certainly appreciate you coming on and giving us your Southeastern Conference expertise on Alabama. And then with the Magic Mind you took this morning, these numbers are just rolling out of your head.
Right now, one question you didn't ask me is who do you think the best team in college football is? I don't think they're in the playoffs.
Who do you think the best college football team
I think
is?
it's Georgia.
Really?
Yeah.
So are you saying that you think the committee got it wrong and the committee should have put Georgia in?
Yep, I do.
In place of who?
Yeah, that's a good question.
But you're not going to say Alabama. So it's got to either be Michigan, Texas, or Washington. It couldn't be Michigan because they were undefeated. I might say Texas.
Texas would be the one odd man out.
And the only reason I say that is Georgia's been extremely consistent all year.
Well, they won 29 in a row, didn't they?
You had McConkey get hurt. You had Bauer get hurt. And then when they played Bama played their best game of all year. I mean, I think any Bama fan would realize that was their best game. And with McConkey hurt and Bauer hurt, they just weren't 100%. They couldn't get separation and break away. So, yeah.
That's interesting. That's interesting because I mean, when Texas came out, and obviously they put Texas in because Texas beat Bama, right?
Yes, they did.
But I thought Georgia should have been in there too. And whether it was two SEC schools, that never bothered me because Alabama should have been in.
Yeah,
because they beat Georgia. But I think and Washington should have been in because they ran the table.
Right? And that's probably going to be one of our next topics too. Next year, you're going to have out of those 12 teams, they're going to pick 8 of them are probably going to come from 2 conferences, kind of like basketball.
Yeah.
Because the Big Ten and the SEC are going to be so huge. Washington's in the Big Ten next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but let me ask you this question. I'm not sure the 12 is going to solve anything because there's going to always be a 13th team.
Yep, I know.
Or 14th team.
Yeah, that'll always be the case,
Well,
right?
and just like basketball, they're up to 68, but they've got, they advertise
Playing games.
first 4 in, first 4 out.
Yeah, so it's 72.
Yeah. So what's the next move?
All right, man.
Thanks.
Thanks for your expertise, man. Your comments. Those are very astute comments. And the next time we do a Magic Mind commercial, you're coming up here.
You got it. Roll Tide.
I know, Roll Tide. Roll Tide. I know. Hey, he says Roll Tide. Tony says go Hoosiers. I know
it.
I say go Bears, and people
Hey,
throw stuff at me. Yeah.
2 things before you guys move on. Here's a shameless plug for our new phone number for the text line. Down in
Okay.
the bottom right corner.
Yeah, we
it's
need to know that so people can tell us. Go.
Okay, well, let me say it. It's 214-945-4134. And I just got 2 texts. They're both from Chad in Virginia. First one says, "Happy birthday, Heck."
Beautiful. I'm 41.
He's catching up with me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I'm
then
about a week.
You're
no,
you're
no.
still six weeks younger than I am.
Yeah. Thanks,
There you go.
Chad. Love it, man.
and
Thanks.
second text he sent, he said, "Oh, and Georgia got robbed, not Florida State."
Yep.
I mean,
Well, and that's going to, and he brings up a good point that can lead us into another topic, which could be we would never solve, but the transfer portal destroyed the bowl games.
yeah, without question.
There were think how bad that Georgia Florida State game was, and we've read the numbers. What there was 50 some players that didn't play in it.
Yep.
I mean, it was like a JV spring game.
But every
Well,
athlete on the
too.
field is a major Division I athlete, though. If Florida State had any pride, they should not give up 60 points to another team.
Well,
yeah, and I don't.
and that wasn't just
I don't
the
care
only
how many
game.
opt-outs you have.
Think how many 6-6 games we watched and those games before Christmas where transfers that we didn't know anything about, and the games were just awful. And I mean I was looking at we bet on some of the favorites. I bet on every favorite of the games before Christmas, and I think I was five out of 25. 20 times I lost the games. That means the favorite got beat.
All right, so let me ask you this question, because we haven't touched this subject yet, and I do want to touch this subject. Harbaugh doesn't coach in 6 games this year for Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think there's been a precedent that's ever happened.
Yeah, he didn't start the season, and
He didn't finish the season.
yeah, he didn't finish. He got the middle innings.
I know, and I don't think that's probably ever happened.
And now he's coached in the playoffs, but that just shows you how good his staff is.
Yeah, and that shows you what I mean, how good his players are, because he could practice with them during the week.
Yes.
And how they listen to him and the respect factor that they have for him. But here's the question: will Jim Harbaugh come back to college football? And I'm not really sure if he will. I know he hired a new agent, and his new agent is really, really big in professional football.
Yeah.
Has a lot of clients at the NFL level, but and I'm not sure. So I would like to get some comments from our listeners. Does the NCAA want Jim Harbaugh at the college level? And what are your thoughts on that right off the bat?
I really think if they win tonight, I think he'll either be with the Chargers or the Raiders.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I think that's what he'll do. He's been to the West Coast. He was with the 49ers, did very well. Depends on how much money. He doesn't need money, but how much money will the Chargers throw at him? How much control of the program will they give him? Will they let him be in personnel? Will they let him do what Belichick's done for the last 20 years in
24
New England?
to be exact.
24. Or his connections with the Raiders. Brady's there, has connections with the Raiders, and there's a couple other people with the Raiders that he has close connections with. It'd be interesting to see if he goes to Las Vegas.
Yeah, and so we didn't answer this question. Does the NCAA want him out of college football? I think they do.
I think they do too.
I think they do. I think some of the things, and I mean, the buck stops there, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's the head coach. So does he know about that assistant coach scouting other games like that and being on the sideline? I don't care if he knows. He runs the program,
right?
And to even try and minimize whether that's right, wrong, or whatever, he runs the program, and so that comes back to him.
That's what's happened in other programs.
Institutional control.
Yep, that's the excuse they use. Patino at Louisville. How much did he know? How much did he not know? But regardless, he's not there anymore.
Yeah, he's not there anymore, and it's his program. So I think there's a lot. I think there's a lot of variables there. But I think at the end of the day, I think that that the NCAA doesn't want him in college football anymore.
I agree.
Hey, I think it's time we take a little bit of a break.
We'll come back and talk some pro football.
We'll give us some commercials there. When we come back, we'll talk Hahn Funeral Home. We'll talk Tony Letcher again, and be ready to come back and hit it hard. Take it away, Scotty.
Hey, before I send it to a commercial, now that you're looking at my face, if you want to participate in the show, if you're watching on YouTube, drop a comment in the chat and I will put it on the stream, or email the new email address. It's at the bottom left of the overlay, IND Coach's Corner, no E in coaches. This is their corner, so it's possessive, so there's no E.
There's your English lesson.
IND Coaches Corner at gmail.com. Call or text the number, or get involved on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, IND Coaches Corner. And with that, here are some more sponsors.
Andy Kern is a real estate broker with Weichert Realtors Jim Dunphy and Associates. The office is locally owned but has big company resources behind it that many smaller real estate offices just don't have. Whether you're selling your fifth house or buying your starter home, Andy can help. He has 6 years of real estate experience and is a lifelong St. Joe County resident. Jim Dunphy and Associates has decades of local experience. Call or text broker Andy Kern at 574-386-4479 for great local service. He is the Colonel. James Carpenter is a real estate broker with Weichert Realtors Jim Dunphy and Associates. The office is locally owned, but it has big company resources behind it that many smaller real estate offices just don't have. Whether you're selling your fifth house or buying your starter home, James can help. James is a South Bend lifer and has 6 years of real estate experience. Jim Dunphy and Associates has decades of local experience. Call or text broker Jim Carpenter at 574-292-CARP. That's 292-2277 for great local service. Frick's Driving School has been named the best driving school in Michiana. Frick's was started in 1960 and is located on Edison Road in Mishawaka. If your child is 15, you can get them started at Frick's. There are multiple instructors available for your driving lessons. Check out the broadcastsport.net main page and click on the Frick's icon to get more information. There you can find out more information and instructions to enroll your new driver. Frick's Driving School, a proud sponsor of Coach's Corner on broadcastsport.net.
Courage Chiropractic and Wellness Center. When your body needs somebody to help.
Hello, I'm Dr. Karch, and I want to invite you to stop by my office on Cleveland Road in South Bend, just east of Portage Avenue. I've been serving Michiana for over 20 years, specializing in back pain, neck pain, headaches, naturally with gentle chiropractic care. Come see me for a free consultation.
Courage Chiropractic and Wellness Center. When your body needs somebody to help.
Oh, man. Are you kidding me?
Oh, it's still me.
We
There
are back to Coach's Corner. Pat and I love doing this on Monday nights. I need to talk about a couple other people. Hahn Funeral Home, the loss of a loved one can leave you with lots of unanswered questions at Hahn Funeral Homes in Mishawaka. We're here to help. Our focus has always been on the families. Hahn Funeral Homes is located at 505 West 8th Street, downtown Mishawaka. Pat Hahn is the owner, and he runs a first-class funeral parlor. You hooked up with Pat at an establishment, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, and enjoyed chatting and meeting him.
Yeah, well, I met Pat, and we had a good talk and had a good time. He actually said some nice things about you too.
No,
he did.
No,
he did. But he likes the kid though.
No, he loves Bugsy.
Bugsy's done fine.
Yeah, he loves
Bugsy.
Bugsy.
He had to ask who Bugsy was. Oh, Scott said, quit banging on the table because it shakes the camera.
I got to stop stuff. Thanks to Tony Letcher with Health Markets Insurance. Whether you need help with your health insurance or Medicare, it's time you get the right coverage for the right price. Call Tony today at 574-307-8882 or visit his website at tletcher.com. We had Tony in here live tonight, and John Adams Eagle loves IU. Is a big Chicago Bear fan too. So we thank our sponsors and all the things that they do for us. You have a sponsor that you really like too, Frick's Driving.
Scott, let me talk about Frick's Driving School. We've got Doug and Jolynn down at Frick's Driving School. I've got to drive Wednesday and Thursday this week. Matter of fact, they are looking for new instructors, more instructors. They've got more business than they can handle.
Can do it? You think I drive good enough to be an instructor?
Sure you do.
Don't ask Monica. Don't ask Sweet. Don't ask
So
Monica.
there's some things the wives just they're so critical.
No, so like you want to talk about Monica being a backseat driver?
Can you teach? Here's the thing: can you hit a brake harder than a kid can hit a gas pedal? That's the
Yeah.
key. So you can
I
drive
think-
then.
I think I could
You
be
got
a
it.
good
You got
driver's ed
it.
instructor.
You got that. You can grab the wheel. You can bump it into neutral. You're good. You just talk them through it.
I appreciate
It
that.
works. It
But-
works.
I mean, they've sponsored us for a couple years.
They have,
now,
yeah.
and they're great people.
But you can call them 574-256-0650. Scott's got that. Like I said, they're open from 9 to 5. You can call Doug down there and figure out what you got to do. If your kids are 15, they can get a permit. So that's how that works. Scott, why don't you help me out with the Fricks Driving Road Team of the Week?
Oh boy, hang on.
Hey, we have only the best around here, don't we?
That is amazing.
I know. That's
Who do you got for the road team of the
well,
week?
I may need some help. So I may need some people at home to help me make a decision. Here's my two teams. And the Indianapolis people are not going to like the first one. God bless them. I'm going to talk to about the Houston Texans. Come into Indianapolis in a must-win game on the road. They have to win, and that's win and you're in. Well, they not only won, Jacksonville loses, so they go from the number 7 seed. Now they're number 4.
Wow.
They're the number 4 seed, and they host Cleveland this week. So, and Jacksonville was the odd man out. They've been in first place for 25 weeks, and a week 26, whatever it is, however long this season's been.
Week 18, big boy.
I know. The last week of the year, they go from first to going home when they got beat. So that's one of my options. So write down Houston.
Option number 1, Houston. I'm going to write it down.
Second one was last night.
Tell us in the YouTube chat or text me who you think it should be.
All right. So you guys at home, here I need some help. The other one is Buffalo. Buffalo goes to Miami, and they've been crying about Buffalo all year about how bad they are. And, Allen's throwing the ball all over the yard and throwing it to the wrong teams. And Tua is just the greatest thing in the world. And they go into Miami last night and win. And now all of a sudden,
and you don't have to use your legs. So I think Joe Brady is the wild card in that deal,
I think
right?
you're right.
And what's number 3?
That's 2. You only just flip a coin. You got 2 choices, either Buffalo or Houston are my 2 choices for the road team of the week. So
the producer's vote is Buffalo.
Well, we don't care what the producer
that's
says.
because he likes the Colts.
Yeah, no,
Might
no.
have a little bias.
There's a little bias.
Yeah.
And we can talk about the games coming up this week, but I thought those are 2 big deals here. The last week of the season, and here's 2 teams. Now the thing is, Buffalo was in. It was just a matter of were they going to be like the 6 or 7 seed or the 2 seed is what it amounted to. I thought Houston had more at risk because if they lose, they're done.
Yeah.
They're finished.
Exactly.
And they not only won to get in the wild card, they're now the 4 seed.
Well,
and they get to host.
And the Bears could have been the road game of the week. If the Bears go into Green Bay
Right.
and beat Green Bay and knock Green Bay out of
Green
the
Bay would have been
playoffs.
out of the playoffs. That's
Yeah.
right.
But Green Bay, and I mean, I'm a big Bear guy. You know that. But Green Bay, Brett Favre, I don't know, 14 years? I don't know.
Long time.
Aaron Rodgers, 14 years, 15 years. Got a kid. Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre for
Mhm.
2 or 3
there's
years.
there's a progression there.
Got a kid that sat behind Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love, for 2 or 3 years.
Yes.
Jordan Love comes out and just throws for 300 yards against the Bears, a Bears defense that had been one of the better defenses in the league at the end of the season. There had not been a 100-yard rusher against the Bears all season. Aaron Jones comes out for the Packers, gashes him for like 120 yards. Jordan Love throws for 300 yards. So if the Bears could have taken care of that, that could have been a Fricks road game of the week.
I agree.
But so I just said something that kind of struck a chord with me. And I think it's really cool when you think about it. Okay, you lived this. I didn't live it, but I was part of it. Ray Estes, the head coach at Anderson High School. You played for Ray Estes.
Right.
Ray Estes was the head coach for maybe, I don't know, I don't know, maybe 8 years, 9 years,
In the 60s.
goes to Vanderbilt as an assistant coach,
Yes.
doesn't like it, comes back and coaches for 3 or 4 more years, probably, right?
Right.
So his tenure is maybe 15 years. Okay. So Storm Norman Held takes over for Ray Estes. Storm and Norman runs the gamut for 18 years.
18 years, including what, 4 trips to the final game.
18 years. So
State runner up.
So let's say
4
so
times.
Ray and Norm go for 33 total
33
years.
Yes.
I follow Norm and I go for 18 years. So, and I certainly don't have the success ratio that both Ray and Norm did. We won some games. We won some Hall of Fame tournaments. We beat a DeMatha team.
I think Estes got to the semi-state 4 times.
Yeah.
One time to the state finals.
And you were on that team, right?
Yes. Yes.
And so 35 plus 18, 45, 53 years of running the Anderson basketball program with 3 guys.
That was, yeah. Estes started in 60-61 when they opened the Wigwam.
60-61. And
Right.
I stopped at 2010.
So there's your 50 years.
So when I think about that, and then I think about some of the things that we said about Brett Favre, and then the following of Aaron Rodgers,
Mhm.
the number of years, and then Jordan Love coming to that now. But here's the greatest thing about that Anderson connection. We all lived on Corlett Way.
That's right. You did. Over there
I mean,
in Forest Hills.
I mean, Ray Estes lived on Corlett Way.
Yes.
Norm Held lived on Corlett Way.
Mhm.
I lived on Corlett Way.
I know.
Is that amazing?
It's one street.
No, it's amazing.
They need to put up some signs, some like celebrity
Well,
signs or something.
Well, I wouldn't have been the celebrity,
Tourist
but
attraction.
those 2 guys would have been. And one of the things that I dislike the most, because Norm went to the state champion, the Final Four, 4 times, and came in second all 4 of those times. And one of the jokes was always in Anderson that was they ought to name 2nd Street after Norm Held.
dear.
And I thought that was cruel as hell.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that's
Norm was the
that's-
best.
that's like a Buffalo Bills story with the Super Bowl. There a lot of people would be jealous to have a chance to be the state finals 4 times.
I agree.
I know.
I couldn't agree. Let's talk some NFL, man.
Hey, before we do that, I've got a couple YouTube comments to throw up from the chat.
Sure, go for it.
We were talking about new producers. We got one from Virginia. She says,
Okay.
"Great job, new producer."
All right, it's probably
There you go.
No, it's
Is
your
that-
cousin.
Is that
You got a
somebody you know?
cousin in
That's somebody you
Virginia.
know?
I know.
And then from Virginia again, she and Chad want to know thoughts on the Eagles. And then after that, they are looking forward to your visits to Carolina Beach.
Yes, we shall.
Okay.
We shall.
That's right. We are. That's right.
We shall take a trip there.
We got some campaigning to do.
We do. And the
And
Eagles.
then-
4 years from now, we'll be over there, right?
Yeah.
Campaigning.
Yeah.
The Eagles, I think they're in trouble.
Yeah, they just.
They've lost
I
5
don't know
or
how.
6.
I don't know how they imploded like they did.
There's something going on in the locker room.
I mean, Jalen Hurts.
his
His
hand, did you
numbers.
see his hand the other day? He's got fingers pointing all different directions.
Yeah. So
Looks like Deacon Jones.
Yeah,
Or-
quarterbacks can't do that.
or Dan Hampton.
Oh, yeah.
Or Dan
Those
Hampton.
you're talking about linemen, but the quarterback can't have fingers pointing in different directions.
So let's talk about the NEC or the NFC matchups here in the playoffs.
all right.
Here we got one more comment from our guy Q about the Fricks Road Team of the
Okay.
Week. He said Houston gets all the flowers. The Bears would have been nice, but
But that's a smelly topic.
Yeah.
and
Thanks,
then
Q.
last thing, we're going to pull the curtain back a little bit. So I am sitting in a hotel room in Birmingham, Alabama, trying to run the show from my computer while they're sitting at Bar Louie in Mishawaka. We're supposed to have Joey Heck on to talk his new job, but I can't call him from my computer. So I'm going to have Mr. King over here switch channel 3 over to the Bluetooth.
Okay.
And call Joey whenever you want.
We'll call him. How's that?
Yeah.
I can call him on my phone.
Yeah, just call him straight from your phone.
All right, we can do that. I'll have Heck call him. I hate real quick while we're doing that. Let me fix. Let's see, Bluetooth. That is.
And then while you're fiddling with that, I've got a new sponsor that we got that I secured.
Oh, that's
So
right.
let
You
me-
got a pullover, didn't you?
Yeah, let me put myself on the camera real quick. You like my sweatshirt? It looks real nice, doesn't it?
Yes,
Well,
yes, it does.
Head on over
you
to
too can get one of those.
our yeah, you can get one too. Go to mailrag.com/IND Coaches Corner and make sure and use the promo code. Get you 10% off. The sweatshirts like the one I'm wearing. This is about 40, 45 bucks maybe. And that discount code will basically get you free shipping. So it's a pretty good deal. They have hoodies, quarter zips, polos, regular full zip jackets, the whole gamut. So it's good stuff. It's not overly priced. And I've got a lot of other sweatshirts that aren't nearly as good a quality and cost twice the money. So it's a good deal. Make sure you use that promo code so they know we sent you.
Yeah,
and then you get a little bit of a discount.
A little bit. Leave that up for a little bit while we're getting organized here.
Yeah, NFC games.
We
man.
we got to call Joey on my phone because it's Bluetoothed.
All right.
The first game. Let's see. Saturday game? Oh, the Saturday games is AFC. Sunday, 4:30. The Packers at the Cowboys. Mike McCarthy's old team, the Packers, are heading for Dallas. Now, us old timers. We talked about this earlier. Green Bay and the Cowboys. That's stuff from the 60s, right?
Yeah,
Dandy
no.
Don Merritt, the Ice Bowl in Green Bay,
Bart Starr.
all that
all of
stuff. Now that's 50 some years ago.
Yes.
They've had several games since, but that's for us old timers. That's something that immediately comes back to us. The Cowboys are a 7.5 point favorite at
Yeah.
home. The Cowboys are very good at home.
I think they are too, and I would definitely go with the Cowboys. What about the Rams at the Lions? Now there are so many storylines on this game on Sunday at 8:15. The
Yeah.
Rams at the Lions.
Same thing. And like you said, the Cowboys, I was in Dallas, just a couple of days ago. All my old time buddies, all my old former players. How about them Cowboys? They're all they're talking about is karma. Now that Jimmy Johnson is in the Ring of Honor, the curse is gone.
Could be.
They're going to the Super Bowl.
It could very well be, man.
And Scott can vouch for that on the talk shows. That's all you heard on the talk shows for 3 days that I was down there.
So I think when the Cowboys are good, I think that's good for the NFL.
I do too. Well,
I
and
think that's
like
good
you
for
said,
the NFL.
the Rams are coming to Detroit for the 8:15 game Sunday night.
Matt Stafford coming back home.
You
to Detroit.
get the two quarterbacks
switcheroo.
Were switched around. Now they're going
Jared
back to the
Goff.
team they used to play with.
Yeah, no.
So they both have things.
I like the
Yeah.
Lions, man. The Lions guard. I mean, the Lions defense they're tough. And
I know it.
And St. John, the receiver that they have, really, really good. I'm almost going to take the home team, the Lions. there.
Well, and the Lions are a 3.5 point favorite, which if you were betting, that's a tough number because if it was 2.5, you take it. But 3.5 means they got to win. They got to win. Michigan just scored. By the way, we've got 4 TVs on up here that we're watching. So
all right, so Eagles
in
and
real
Bucks.
time, Monday night. See, that's a 2.5 point game. The Eagles and Tampa Bay. It's at Tampa. You know what? Baker Mayfield. You can say what you want. Baker Mayfield took Cleveland to the playoffs, and now they get rid of him. He's bounced around, caught on here in Tampa. There's no Tom Brady, and all of a sudden Baker Mayfield's got Tampa in the playoffs. Don't be surprised. They're the 4 seed. 4 and 5 is always a toss up, but I like Tampa right off the bat.
So I think the Eagles will right the ship. But I'm going off on a limb saying that because you don't know.
And they've lost 5 out of the last 6. I mean,
I know.
They're going to be heading home.
And
the game's in Tampa, so the weather will not be a concern.
And then the 49ers will host the winner with the lowest seed.
Right. The worst team that wins will play
The
in San
49ers.
Francisco.
So
right.
the AFC on Saturday at 4:30, Browns at Texans. You got a rookie quarterback, man. And people, so the people that said, man, I'm gonna take Bryce Young number 1.
Mm-hmm.
And the Texans sat back there and said, yeah, all right, go ahead and take Bryce Young number 1. I got CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud is everything and more.
Yeah, he's done very well. And what was interesting, I was doing some reading. Houston, who's gone worst to first, half of their defensive players are part of the Deshaun Watson trade that sent him to Cleveland. They are former Cleveland players
Yeah.
that came to Houston as part of the Deshaun Watson
And
trade. Deshaun Watson sitting up in a box because he's hurt.
yeah,
He's
and,
not even playing.
and D'Amico Ryan's first-year head coach for the Texans.
The Texans are a huge success story.
Yeah, I have to go. I have to go with the Texans. Dolphins at the Chiefs Saturday at 8:15.
Well, and they said that game's going to be 0 degrees with minus 15, 20 wind chill on Saturday night because we're going to get that same weather here.
If that's the case, then you got to go with the Chiefs because
Yeah.
I don't know if the Dolphins can play, or I don't even know if they want to.
Well,
play.
and the Dolphins went to Buffalo last year and did not have a problem with the cold weather. So
Exactly.
it'll be interesting. Can the Chiefs right the ship? You know, can their receivers catch a ball? You know, that's the whole thing. It's hard to bet against Kansas City at home.
and then the Steelers at the Bills on Sunday at 1:00. I don't think there's any question that the Bills will win that game. Now I don't know how the Steelers got in.
They're
I
the
don't-
7 seed. They
I
snuck in the
know.
back door.
I know. I mean, teams had to lose and they lost. They've been through 3 quarterbacks. They've been through Kenny Pickett. They've been through Mitch Trubisky. They're on Mason Rudolph now. So, I mean, hats off to Mike Tomlin, their coach.
So then the team, if the Steelers win, they'll have to go to Baltimore. If the Dolphins win, they'll have to go to Baltimore.
If the Browns win,
if the
they gotta
Browns
go to
win, they're
Baltimore.
going to Baltimore. So whoever the bigger number, they'll have to go to Baltimore the following week. So Baltimore gets the bye.
Black Monday today. Washington fires Ron Rivera. The Falcons fire Arthur Smith. There are some coordinators that have been fired. Josh Harris, who owns just multiple professional teams, is the owner of the Washington franchise. He hires a couple guys to help him. Bob Myers, ex-GM of the Warriors, and Rick Spielman, ex-GM of the Vikings. He hires a couple guys to help him with the search.
Yeah, Carolina fired
luck.
their GM. They fired their head coach a month ago. So they they're looking for people too.
Yeah, so I mean, NFL not for long. That's what it stands for.
They proved it.
And so if you're a Bears guy, is it Justin Fields? Is Justin Fields your guy? Because as we know, the Bears have the number 1 overall pick and the 9th overall pick. Is Justin Fields your guy? Has he done enough here at the end to make you say you don't need a quarterback? And that's kind of where the whole thing is at, to be honest with you.
Let me see if I can find Joey on here.
Yeah. I say no. I say the throws that Jordan Love made last night.
Joey, are you on here? Go ahead.
I say the throws that
Hey,
Jordan
this is
Love
Pat King. I'm getting ready to put you on the computer.
made last night. I don't think Justin
fine.
Fields.
I'm gonna get all right.
I don't think Justin Fields can make
the
those
other guy's
throws,
been
to be
talking
honest
too
with
much.
you. So let's get Joe Heck on here and talk a little bit about Goshen football. Hey, Joe, you on?
I'm here. I made it.
What's shaking, man? You good?
I'm doing well. Just got back from the school board meeting, actually.
That's great. That is
But I'm
great.
official. I'm official.
He's official.
So you're a Goshen Redhawk, man.
There we go. Yes, I am.
That's amazing. I mean, just a storied career. A great high school quarterback takes his team down to the state championship game. Gets beat by Chittard in the state championship game. Has a career at Marion University. Plays or wins a national championship while being a quarterback down at Marion University. Got a ring for that. Starts off at Manchester College. Starts his coaching off at my alma mater, Manchester College. And I'm sure if you went down to Schwam Hall, you saw my name and your dad's name carved in a lot of the doors down at Schwam
Written on the
Hall.
back of the bathroom door.
Yeah, written on the back. Yeah, and then you
allowed to go in that dorm.
yeah, and then
By that
you
time.
and then you go back to Marion University to coach. Then you go to Pat's alma mater, Butler. You spend a few years at Butler. You spend a few years at Ball State University in various capacities, running backs, quarterbacks coach, receivers coach. Now you're married, you have a little child. What was the bottom line for you thinking about getting into the high school game again now?
Yeah, I think it was a combination of a couple of different things. Obviously, like you mentioned, I got married in July to the rock of our family, Sarah, who's the best, wife and mom, and then we welcomed our son in October, and he's a football guy. He came during a bye week on and off day, so he gets it already.
That's amazing. That's great.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, so but then after that, we were in the middle of the season, and so for the better part of 5 weeks, I didn't really see him, him or Sarah.
You'll pay for that, I'm sure.
Yeah. And then so the chance to spend more time with my family, obviously the time commitment of any coach, whatever the level is great, but certainly it's not as much. I think that the time commitment that college football coaches in general, the way that that's going, it's a 365-day a year job. If you're not, coaching during the season, you're on the road recruiting for 5 weeks right after the season ends, and then you have a few weeks for Christmas, and then you get on the road and do it again. So the chance to spend more time with my family, and then really the state of college football in general is vastly different now than from when I got into it 10 years ago. And so I think, the reason why I love college football is the same. It's the same with any sports, the chance to build relationships with kids and help them realize their full potential. And that's what we do as coaches, take somebody, and coach them and get them to where, that they wouldn't be able to get without coaching. And I think that, nowadays we're seeing more and more that even at the college level, it's transactional. Kids are asking about money. It's more of a semi-professional league, and the chance to make a bigger difference is at the high school level and help kids, get to where figure out what their goals are. They may not know what they are. Figure out what their goals are. Figure out an avenue to go achieve those. And I've been fortunate throughout my 10 years in college to be at various levels, all the way from Division III, like you mentioned, at Manchester, to the FBS level, and pretty much everywhere in between. So there's a lot of really good schools in Indiana that at all levels that kids can go and get school paid for, receive a great education, and really set themselves up through sports. So the chance to be at the high school level, was something that we were very interested in. And then when this, opportunity arose, and I knew a little bit about Goshen, not only from being up from Northern Indiana, but also at Ball State. We recruited a member of the team, and he's going to Ball State. Ryan Eldridge next year will be a freshman for the Cardinals. So got to really delve into and find, get a little bit maybe deeper level of understanding of the people there through the recruiting process for Ryan. And they have a great, administration, a great principal, great superintendent. Jim DuBois is a great athletic director who, all four of us really kind of share the same vision of where we can be, as a program, as a school, and how to get there. So, talking to them and getting to meet them, it was really an opportunity that, we're very fortunate. I'm very humbled and blessed to be the football coach there.
Man, so I asked one question and got 9 questions answered, man.
Yeah, we didn't have to answer the rest of
Derek,
them.
you mean-
He's here scratching off.
I'd like to.
You've been there.
Few people on it, so I got it well. You know,
I'd like to interview you once a week, man. This is great. This is great. So you're
All right.
talking to me and Pat and I spent I spent some years in college, but we spent the majority of our career at the high school level, and we can appreciate and understand everything that you said relative to how high school coaches can help guide a high school student athlete and how we can help to send them on their way. And I know you share the same feeling.
I agree. And Joey, one of the things you mentioned, and when I had players that were talking about wanting to get into coaching, you know, I had college guys coming back saying, "Hey, I want to get into coaching." One thing I told them, I said, if you have any questions about what you want to do, go be a grad assistant, kind of like what you did. Go to college first. You're poor, you know, you're single, you can live out of a dorm room, you can get your master's if they offer that to you, but go ahead and stay at the college level, because it's a whole lot easier to go from college coaching to high school than it is high school to college. And I think that's what we've seen a lot. You did that for a while. You wouldn't, you know, think about your move from Ball State back in the late 80s to the high school, and the same thing. And I just really think the progressions you've made, where you've climbed the ladder, so to speak, you know, gone from small college to middle and kept climbing the ladder a little bit, the college ranks, has made things, you know, made you very prepared to come to the coach high school football.
Yeah. I think I'd like to believe that too. You know, I think I'm ready to get started, and you know, really get to work. And you know, this is really the best time, the most opportune time, because, you know, really for football, even though, you know, the game's going on right now, but really this is when the next season starts. So the opportunity to, you know, to get these guys and work with them in the weight room and kind of instill, not so much maybe the X's and O's, but, you know, the culture part of it. There's no better place to do that than the weight room and in the off season.
So what's your schedule?
What's that?
What's your schedule? Are you going to try to get up here for second semester?
What's that?
Are you going to try to get up here and get involved second semester? They're going to find something for you.
They're taking finals right now for the end of their first semester.
Okay.
So the semester didn't coincide with the break.
Okay.
And they don't start their second semester until the 17th.
Okay.
Wednesday
There's
the
a lot of schools still do that, right? Okay.
Yeah. So
they come back
so
for 2
the plan
weeks
would
and
be-
do finals.
Yeah, the plan would be to start right when we're able to, you know, right when that second semester starts on the 17th. You know, as long as, you know, as everything's going, you know, really just paperwork wise, as long as everything can get finalized and all that stuff.
So they're going to put you on some sort of emergency permit and tell you you're going to take some classes to get teacher certification, and
Right. And I have a teacher's license. You know, it's just obviously expired since I haven't used it, so I'll be able to get, you know,
be a
emergency.
be a quick
right
fix
now.
on that.
Yeah.
Well, hey, listen, man. Hey,
Good.
Hey, congratulations, man. I think it's awesome. I think it's I think it's right up your alley. I mean, the timing for you and your family is great with it. And so I got to tell you this. When I took the Wapahani job, I was an assistant basketball coach at Richmond High School, and we all know Richmond's in the North Central Conference, just great tradition. A lot of my friends said, "Man, you're crazy. Why are you taking that job?" Because Wapahani had won one game 3 years before I took it, 0 games 2 years before I took it, and 2 games the year before I took it. And they said, "You're crazy, man. You ain't going to win there, blah, blah, blah." And I said, I don't even care what they did before I was there. All I care about is my passion and my work ethic. And I know what I can get done because I know me. And I know you're going in with the same zest and the same mindset to tackle your first head coaching position, right?
Correct. And really, you know, knowing the coaches in the area and just kind of knowing, you know, like, you know, where the program's been, like you said, some of the things that makes, I've started to say good to that. Good. We got to get more players out. Good. I can't wait. All of those things, like you just said, man. I believe in myself. I'm going to bet on myself, and those are opportunities more so than challenges. And like I said, I can't wait to get started with these guys, the people that I met tonight, and already known the principal and athletic director, and now even there was a couple of players at the meeting. You can tell that they want to be coached, and they're excited to be coached, and so like I said, we can't wait to get started. I won't promise anything in terms of what we're going to be yet, but we're gonna have fun, and like I said, it starts now, so the timing couldn't be better.
All right, man. Listen, go get him, Goshen Redhawks. Go get him, Joey Heck. You're the best, man. Thanks for taking a few minutes out of your busy night.
Yep. Thank you.
That is
Take care.
That is the great Joey Heck, man. He's been a little guy in our family. Now you look at him, he's like 33, 34, and he's a head coach, man. What are you going to do?
It's next generation.
Hey, I want to talk for a minute on Hahn Funeral Home, get our last spot in. Hahn Funeral Home located at 505 West 8th Street in downtown Mich. Call them anytime at 574-255-1474. It's a really tough period in your life when someone passes away, and the sensitive people that you deal with at Hahn Funeral Home are the best. And then obviously you got to talk about the great Tony Letcher. Tony was here on the show tonight. Thanks to Tony Letcher with Health Market Insurance. Whether you need help with your health insurance or Medicare, it's time you get the right coverage for the right price. Call Tony at 574-307-8882. How about a minute or two on high school basketball in our area, man? I know we've gone over. We've got some good food waiting for us, but I kind of want to hit just a minute or two of South Bend high school basketball. I did a couple games last week. You're fixing to start,
and you said you've got 5 games this week. I've got 2 games this week, so we're both going to be busy on the radios. So we're going to be busy. You meant one of the things I did today was I took a look at the different like little power ratings here in the area. The Tribune has got Riley 1, Penn 2, Northridge 3. And those teams are very, they've been doing very well. They're looking at records, common opponents, the eye test. Big game tomorrow night. Riley has to go to Michigan City, and we'll find out how good they are going over to Michigan City.
I saw Michigan City play Mishawaka at Michigan City. Michigan City shot 5 for 26 from deep, and Mishawaka beats them. So that will be a preview of a sectional.
I think that'll be a good. And then tomorrow night you're gonna be there, aren't you? Penn and Warsaw.
Exactly.
It's at Penn, and that'll be a dandy.
Yeah.
That's a sectional game.
Yeah. So our guy Lou Lefevre is the head coach of Wawasee. He beats Warsaw.
Yes.
Crazy Lou beats
Crazy
Warsaw.
Lou. Yeah.
And we don't say that to make fun of him.
No, it's a compliment.
Great coach,
yeah,
man. He does a lot.
We say that it's a compliment.
It is a tremendous.
Just because
compliment.
he has so many little quirks and his players are sitting going, yep. They've learned. I mean, I told the people at Wawasee he'll win, but you're going to enjoy some of the things that he does. You're going, what is he doing?
Yeah, Northridge playing pretty good basketball.
Northridge is playing well. And big game for them. They got to go to Northwood on Friday.
Yeah, that's a huge rivalry.
And that'll be a good one as well. So we've got some good basketball coming up.
I saw Penn St. Joe. St. Joe's really talented, but St. Joe hasn't played together yet.
Yeah.
And I think once the season winds on and everything, they'll get that chemistry. But they have some talent. They got another Konechny who went over 1,000 points.
Yeah, already
at the beginning
and
of his
he's
junior year.
Right? Yeah. So he'll be pushing 2,000 here by the time he's a senior.
Yeah, Mishawaka Marion kind of struggling, but you look for them to get the ship right.
But here's the thing: if you look at the power ratings, they're pretty good. They're ranked even with Michigan City and Northridge. So a lot of that has to do with Robbie's. He's been playing a tough schedule. I've got a whole list of all the pre New Year games. They had that big tournament at Kokomo. There was one at Homestead. There's one down at Noblesville. A lot of these teams went toward the middle of the state, went over to Fort Wayne and played against some of these the big teams from different areas, and really as a measuring stick to find out how good they are.
And as coaches, we know you play better people, you're going to get
it's going to get you better.
Yeah.
And just like you said, what Mishawaka Marion's, they're 500 at best. They're under 500. I think they're 6-7, 5-7, something like that. But the power ratings, if you look at that, I think I had them as like the 9th or 10th team. Mishawaka Marion's rated even right now with Northwood, and Northwood's defending 3A state champs.
Hey, we'd certainly like to thank all our sponsors, Manfrix Driving, our great people here at this great restaurant,
Bar Louie. Yep.
Letcher's
we've
Insurance.
done Letcher Insurance, your funeral home, Fricks. I'm going to throw one more at you because I've got some other people that got them on the string. My friends down in Alexandria, down at the Curve.
No,
I was at the Curve last week.
They got the great chicken.
Christmas Eve, they served dinner. Boomer and Tiffany Clegg own down there. It's right there at Highway 9 and Bethel Pike, there at the stoplight.
So you think we can get them on board?
I think we can. Right, we won't be right now because they're down in Fort Myers, enjoying. They're doing a little Christmas, little winterizing, snowbirding down in Fort Myers Beach. But if you're in that, Indiana.
Red Gold to see if they would sponsor us because we talk about tomato cans so much.
Well, that's that's funny. Oh, and I was going to mention I was down in Dallas in Plano. I got to see the number 1 team in Texas play Friday night. It was Jimmy King night, and they honored Jimmy. I was Jimmy's sophomore coach, and people still didn't quite understand how all that worked. But back then,
there we are.
There we are. Sophomores could not play varsity basketball in their school system. So we had to play a JV schedule in December. We played everybody we could, but they honored Jimmy. I got to see a lot of guys from 40 years ago. My goodness, those guys are now 50 years old. And they were sitting there talking about, back in the day in the 80s and things like that. And we had a great time. I got to see a lot of got to see Greg Newsom, one of my favorite guys down there. Got to see Eldon Drake and Pearly Tell. I got to see a bunch of guys.
Okay, let me ask you this question. Did you ask Jimmy why Chris Rebel called timeout?
No, that was not a topic. Now, Scott.
Why'd you call timeout, Chris Weber?
Scott, tell him that. Do we have that? I don't know if you have that one other picture, but one of the topics Scott wanted to ask Jimmy. What did you ask Jimmy about college basketball defensively?
Who the person he hated guarding the most was, and why it was Jim Jackson?
Yeah, why it was Jim? You were thinking it was Jimmy Jackson. What was his answer?
It was the big dog.
Yeah,
Glenn Robinson.
Yeah, and why? What did he say? Do you remember why?
I don't remember exactly why, but I mean, Glenn Robinson's the best Purdue player ever.
Because he said he played all 5 positions.
No, he was so long, he could handle, he could shoot.
As soon as you put Juwan Howard on him, he took him out on the floor and busted by him. He said, and Jimmy said, if they would have let me guard him from the jump, I could have taken care of it.
Yeah, but he might have taken Jimmy into the paint.
Then he takes Jimmy into the paint at 6'9". And he said, and here's the interesting one. He said his second one was Jamal Mashburn. How's that for dropping from some names?
That's a couple of big time.
Jamal Mashburn, but we're talking big time. Jimmy, was one of the Fab Five at Michigan.
That were great NBA players too.
So we had a great conversation with Jimmy. He saw Scott. The last time he saw Scott, you were like 3 years old. We were over at a CBA game over in Gary. So Scott had a chance to visit with Jimmy. And Jimmy, his biggest question was, how's Stephanie doing? Because Stephanie was like 2 or 3 when he saw her.
That's amazing.
So we had a good chance of back catching up. And he's a South Bend guy. We mentioned, I said, if you were in South Bend, where would you? His brothers and his relatives here are all Riley guys. They're all South Bend Rileys. All the Kings, they're South Bend Riley in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, back in the day, there was a player in the mid 70s named Ricky King, who might have been the best high school player I ever saw.
Well,
smooth, long, could really go, could really play. So I'm sure that's some kid.
Yeah, and his dad played with Michael Warren at Central in the early 60s, 63, 64. If you look at the roster, Jimmy King Sr. was on that team with Michael Warren.
Well, listen, partner, I got some food staring
We
me in
got
the
food.
face.
It's time for us to go.
Great show tonight.
And we will be back every Monday now till Memorial Day.
I'm not sure about that.
Pretty close. Well, we'll be here the rest of the month. That's for
All
sure.
right, man. Great show.
We did
great
well
show.
tonight. We will talk more about basketball next week.
Thanks to our live in guest guys, Mark Havert, Tony Letcher. It's been great. We're going to watch a little football now. You guys are the best. Thanks. Good show,
See you
guys.
guys.
I guarantee you, if you want to dance, we don't mind you doing it. We gonna have a good time. Hey, well, I'm the friendly stranger in the black sedan. I want you to hop inside my car.